All right. So we all did step one, if you're following the rules, that is. Now you know who you are. You know a little bit more about how you spend your time and what you're actually doing with your life. So let's roll on. Step two, living in reality. Yes, that's a good place to be, right? Reality. A lot of people talk about being realistic or, oh, yeah, this is how it is. Um, But most of us are wrong. Most of us like to live in our heads. We like to create our own little world where we're the best, we're always right. We're the king or queen of this and that, and other people are messing things up. It's those guys who don't know what's going on. And step two may be a bit bitter. It might be a tough pill to swallow for some of you. A lot of times, you're wrong. That's right. That's right. I'm sorry. It took me a long time. Hey, I'm still figuring stuff out as well, but I've had to cut myself down dozens and dozens of times. All right, I'm aware of things. I say, hey, maybe you're not so funny. Maybe at that networking event you talk too much. Maybe you push some people away. Remember those three people who said they had to go take a phone call? Maybe they were lying. Maybe they just didn't want to talk to you anymore. Oh, okay. So let's try to be in reality here. The difficult thing is if you're living in your own head, no one else knows what that's like. They're living in the real world. So there's a disconnect. It's hard to deal with people. It's hard to get what you want. It's hard to run away from the bad people and spend time with the good people if you don't know who they are, right? If we all try to live a bit closer to the world that we share, it's much easier to deal with people. It's easier to predict what's going to happen and all of that. So that's what step two is all about. Now, how do we do that? How do we do that? Well, because we were aware, you may start to get some indicators of where your world and reality are kind of clashing. All right. For example, if you spend all of your time, you know, chasing things like, oh, I'm trying to get people to come to this party. Oh, this person won't call me back. Oh, this guy led me on a wild goose chase. Well, that's a good indicator that maybe people don't want to spend time with you, which is sad and difficult, but at least it helps us open up why. Why is that the case? All right. Talk to other people. Say, hey, is this guy just a jerk? He won't return my calls. And they may say, no, he doesn't return my calls either. Oh, okay. Or they'll say, oh, he's really friendly. It's like, oh, well, this is a great stage where you can take your findings from awareness and you can start to say, how can I change my mind to be more realistic, right? If I think my landlord's a jerk and everyone else loves him, maybe I'm the jerk, right? It's not a bad thing. It's something that needs to be known so that you can move on, either find a new landlord or hit that reset button with the relationship with the current landlord. But it's a terrible, terrible world to live in when you're following your set of rules and no one else knows what they are. So I highly encourage you to make a few paths back to reality. Now, maybe your reality is great, right? Hey, how you doing? Yeah. For example, this dog here smells different stuff than the rest of us, right? Got a different reality. And if the dog is wondering why humans are eating this instead of that, right, it would help the dog to understand, our noses are all different, right? Yeah. Things like that. This is the step that maybe is impossible to do all on your own. It might be good to get some folks to help you out. Now that you're aware of what's going on, you can say, hey, am I really like this? How much time do you spend exercising? How much time do you spend reading? Am I the odd one out here, or is this how things are? Especially if you move around the world, you may want to get some other perspectives from your fellow travelers, from your locals, and things like that. This is one of my favorite parts of life coaching because it really helps people to open up and say, I always thought I was a good dancer, or I always thought I was really reliable. I thought people liked me. And now I'm starting to realize maybe that's changed. 10 years ago, you were the life of the party. Now, maybe you're telling the same stories over and over again. Not so much. This is a great step. And this is where I really would love to reach out, have you guys contact me individually and say, uh, here's what I think my reality is, and here's what I want it to be. Uh, and working on how to change those things, that's going to be step 3. So, awareness, get back to reality, and then we'll have a nice kind of level playing ground, and we can actually build some things off of it in section 3. Cool stuff, guys. Good luck.